What's going on, guys? This is the DeFi Crypto Alliance show where we're doing our best to be the bridge between our fellow real estate investors and entrepreneurs alike and the cryptocurrency space, where crypto is the biggest opportunity over the next few years, and it's not even close. So welcome along on the journey. We're pumped to have you guys. Corey, take it away.
Absolutely, Corey Geary here, and I'm just truly blessed to be with all you people in this community on this journey where we're using cryptocurrency as a wealth creation tool, and you're going to use real estate as a wealth preservation tool. And guys, this is the top of the show. We're going to go ahead and shut it down. Brizology is already here. He's always the top. So see you guys next week. So yeah, man, fun week this week. We have the highest estates launching on all the streaming platforms except for like Netflix, which I anticipate that happening soon. But we got it on Amazon Prime, which is awesome. We have it on Apple TV, which is where I'll be watching it at. And super exciting now that we can kind of get the whole world to see this movie that, you know, is going to give us some exposure, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of the movie. But what it's going to do is it's going to get a shit ton of eyeballs on our ecosystem, a crap ton of eyeballs on our community. And it's just going to rise some awareness to the RH ecosystem. And that's what I really love about it. Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm going to watch it today on Apple TV. I had ordered it. I paid the $15.
Corey? You paid for something in crypto?
Right. I saw some whining on Twitter about like having to pay for the movie. I'm like, oh my God, guys. Like, really? Are we whining about the $15? Like, give it time. It will be streamed for free eventually. Everything when it comes out like that, it's all the way it always is. Like, you got to pay for it, and then eventually you can find it places for free. I mean, you could probably go find it on like a Pirate Bay or one of those what do you call them? Dane, you know what I'm talking about. You used to do it all the time.
Websites, yeah.
Yeah. You can probably find it on there within a week or so, I'm sure. But super exciting. So I'm stoked about that. I'm stoked about the Fetch Oracle being live. That went live this last couple of days. So now we can actually have all these protocols that have been saying that are going to launch. Let's see if they actually do launch. Now now the rubber meets the road. They better do what they're going to do, because now there's no other excuse. Let's get these damn protocols to market. Super excited for Liquid Loans to launch. Man, everything is looking so great, except for the price chart. But meme coins are pumping.
Right.
Again, Teddy Bear's up again. P-Dye's up again. Atropa's up again. B-Roots is shilling on Twitter. I'm like, damn, are we just like reliving the past? Like, we're just going back and forth. I guess we'll go through our own meme coin season, and then we go through where the main assets take off, and then we go back to meme coin season. It's just like crazy, man.
Yep. Well, B-Roots has bags, so he wants to talk about the stuff he's got bags for, and
he does.
And it's good. It's good to see life on the chain. So I'm for it. I think it's cool to see. As far as the movie's concerned, I mean, the movie's a long-term play. There's some people that are expecting a big pump from that. I don't think that's the case. It's a slow burn type of thing, like you said, Corey, to be able to get more eyes on the things that we like. So I'm about it. I think that's great. For you guys that are unaware, the people that paid to have the movie made, it wasn't Richard. The guys are well underwater, and so if you have it in your heart to support your bags, $15 is not a big deal to go and do some of that to help these guys kind of recoup recoup some of their funds for this venture that they're losing a ton of money on. So,
bro, it's literally it's literally less than an Ethereum gas fee. If I go on a Uniswap, do a swap right now for any token, I don't care what it is. Like, I'm gonna pay a minimum of $15. That's the same. Man, I go out to eat here. I spend about $50 to $80 just to go out have lunch. Like $15, and you get to keep it forever. Like, it's like on my app, so on all my Apple devices now, I have the highest estates. So like,
they should have just tokenized the film, and then people would have felt better about buying it. Yeah.
Turned it into a crypto, and
And
then everyone have bought it in the community.
right. Exactly. So I think it's good. You know, you want to see, I mean, I think the right perspective is you want to see people winning, right? You want to see people that are spending real hard earned cash, whether they be crypto gains or whether they be otherwise. You want to see people getting results from their money spent. It's like marketing dollars. And if
Yeah.
people are getting wins from their marketing dollars, well, guess what? They spend more money on marketing, and that's good for all of us. And so, you know, I think it's great that those guys went out and made the movie. There could always be things that, you know, you could look back and wish things were done differently, but that's neither here nor there at this point. We want to support the people that are putting their own money to work to try to bring light to the community and support all of our bags. And I'd recommend you guys do the same.
100%, 100%. And if we want ever a highest of stakes 2, I think there's always a possibility that can happen. Support these guys, give them a reason.
Yep.
We know from business experience, things don't always pan out the way we planned, but you make the best of the situation. That's what you do as entrepreneurs. You make the best of the situation you're in with the marketing that you have created, and use it to your best benefit to have success with what you're trying to do, whatever your endeavor is. In this case, just getting more eyeballs on our community. And I think it will, man. I think it's going to do a great job. I see people all over Twitter talking about it. Even the haters are talking about it, which is really cool. If the haters are talking about it, then it's like, I think we're doing something right. If you got the haters talking about it, you see the haters doing polls now. I'm like, where are you guys?
All right.
Community for a couple of years now. I don't even know who you are. Like, haters coming out of the woodwork. Maybe some of you guys who are OG Hexicans remember some of these guys from when Hex first launched. I didn't know they existed. I was like, what the heck?
Right.
Who are you?
And I'm sure, I mean, a lot of these movies, like we have it on pretty good authority that, you make a movie like this, there's tons of additional footage. I would love to see
I want it.
Some of that footage, like for instance, they showed no Rackham footage pretty much in the movie. I think it'd be interesting to see more about his story. There wasn't hardly anything about Big K. I'd like to see more of that stuff. And they could release those in episodes of other formats. So I'm hopeful we get to see more of that stuff. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, and obviously make us pay for it. Like, guys, we're for paying stuff, paying for stuff. This is how life works. I mean, you go out and create value in the world, and you get paid for that value, and then and you rinse and repeat this. So, like, yeah, man, that'd be cool if they launched a little mini series or something that was attached. Cool. Yeah, like, hey,
I'd pay for that. I'd like to see it.
Man, I'd pay for that in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
I'd pay for that in a heartbeat, man. Yeah, like even bloopers, like parts that got cut out, and then like bloopers where they're like making mistakes, and oh man, that'd be so good. I would enjoy that more than I think I would enjoy the actual movie.
Yeah. Well, we've seen the movie, right? So
yeah.
I think that's a fair point. I think that it'd be interesting. I'm with you. Let me pull up. Let me see if I could find it. I found a really interesting Twitter thread this morning. I guess we're calling it X now. A really interesting X thread.
Right.
Let's see.
Yeah, Brizology's right. It'll be free on YouTube with ads. Yup. And I got a feeling, guys, it's going to end up being on Netflix. I have no inside scoop on that, but I really think it's going to be on Netflix sooner or later, and then you'll be able to just stream it on there. It's all coming. I mean, super, super cool. And man, you talk about timing. The timing is really good too, because we're not full bore bull market yet. And obviously we haven't experienced the massive green candles. We got a little bit in this last month, which was cool. Feels like we got off that bottom than we were at. But man, once the green candles really kick in, and then you have this movie to complement that, and they kind of play off each other, that's where you can really see the effect of this coming to play. Probably sometime next year, or maybe even the early 2025. Who knows? So
yeah, yep, absolutely. I'm not going to be able to find the thread quick enough, but it was okay. So this is the general premise, and if you guys know differently in the comments, I'd love to get some clarification on this. The person that made the thread, their claim is that never in history since the SEC has been around have actual assets in and of themselves been classified as securities. Rather, it was the way that the asset was bought or sold that deems it as a security one way or another. So
I
for
saw
instance,
that.
yeah, did you see that one?
Yep.
And I thought that was really an interesting take because, like if Richard gets penalized, we all hope that doesn't happen, right? We all hope that he wins and that he gets out all right. But then at the end of the day, even if things go sideways for Richard in court, none of the things that we like are securities in and of themselves. And the fact that they're all decentralized, I think, is really unique because what could be done now other than turning the internet off, which very few people want to do for real. There's some bad actors there, I'm sure, that would love to explode
Yeah.
an EMP and knock out power and internet across the world. Aside from the sociopaths, I think we're in really pretty good shape. And it's also interesting in that it forces a new breed of higher level crypto operators where you got to be somebody or have the help to be able to come and do DeFi the way that it currently works and operates. Now we all know it's not the cleanest, most user-friendly opportunity, but it also speaks to the opportunity that's available right now. That's why there is opportunities, because it's a pain in the butt to do. So all in all, I feel like we're in pretty good shape. I really do. I'm really interested to see, frankly, the more that these guys come out. I should save some of these videos as I'm going through Twitter. Did you see the one with what's his freaking name? I can't remember his name. Maybe you were referring to him, or I've never seen the dude before until more recently. He was on stream and he was like, "Oh, I went on Twitter and I was looking to see all the Hexicans and seeing if they're selling their bags and if Hex has died." He's like, "What a bunch of brainwashed idiots that can't understand that Richard stole all their money and has screwed everybody. What a bunch of sheep." And the more videos we see like that right now, the more bullish that I get, because it's because it's not the crowd. The crowd isn't playing in what we like right now. They'll come to play soon. I think probably later next year, but speaks to that there's still opportunity here.
100%. I agree with that very much. Yeah, I've seen so many hater videos. I'm not even sure which one.
Oh yeah, it was Kaiser. That's how I saw it. Yeah, Kaiser clipped it and posted it. That's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, you know what? I do remember seeing that. He was placing like the assets in accordance to like
on the left-hand side of the screen.
Yeah, and he had USDT as a top asset.
Come on, man. I saw some guy shitting on all of our stuff, and his screen name was Tether Maximalist, and I was like, "What is that? What is that even supposed to mean? What do you mean? I love the US dollar. I love stable coins.
I love stable coin. Yeah, it's
Come
like,
on.
oh my god, bro.
People are funny.
They are, man. They are.
Oh, that's cool. Drew says that Bitcoin hit 38K. Let's have a gander at that. I'll pull it up.
All right. Everyone's anticipating a 30 to 40% pullback on it. You're seeing it everywhere. Even Ran Amar on his Crypto Banter show yesterday was like, "Hey, I'm selling all my alts. Bitcoin's about to take a 30 to 40% hit." So,
do you think that's? What are your thoughts on that, Corey? It feels like there's so many people talking about it at this
point. It's not. I mean, of course, it's going to have pullbacks. I mean, it's crypto, right? Like even Bitcoin's crypto. Even though you ask a maximalist, they'll say no, it's not. But look at that. Yeah, I mean, it's going to have pullbacks. I mean, Sprack Burger, he's in the comments. I mean, he could probably tell you where the realistic pullback is going to happen according to the fib levels and all that. I mean, it's going to happen. I don't know, man. When? Who knows? Yeah, it'll be interesting. But I mean, I think a lot of this right now, there's so much pent up energy from this the ETF supposedly getting approved in January. We might see this shit all the way through December, man. Nice, I mean, green candles, at least on the Bitcoin chart, and the dominance, really overtaking everything else, which means, guys, if Bitcoin dominance is high or continues to go higher, then that means alts and ETH is going to stay compressed, right? And we're going to see it really Bitcoin trying to take the limelight because it's, everyone's anticipating this ETF, man. I'll tell you what, the ETF doesn't happen. A lot of the people who bought will sell. So like I believe the ETF will, it's not a if, it's a when, and they've pushed it off already a couple times. And so they pushed it off again from January. Then we could see that maybe that 30 or 40% sell off. I don't know. But man, with this, man, there's a lot of it's everywhere, man. The ETF, the talk, you look at all the big influencers. I mean, it's just everywhere. And you go into the Mario spaces, that's all they're talking about. It's just funny, man. I just don't know. I think we're going to see a green December, at least on Bitcoin. It'd be nice if we could see a green December on the RH assets or just altcoins in general, because if altcoins are going up and Ethereum's going up, I believe we're going to get we're a play on that. So,
right.
Yeah.
You guys are on a roll this morning in the comments. Rand said he sold 50% of his ETH and went all in on Anal OS. I like it.
More clickbait. He's been saying he's been selling his ETH to go to all in on Sol. That's been his big rant for the last week.
Sure.
I understand that people like Sol, and I understand it's a new blockchain, but it isn't a second cycle. And man, that thing's it goes down every month. I swear there's even conspiracy theories that SBF used to pause the chain and Carolyn would place in shorts based off of then pausing the chain so they could short Sol. Like just crazy stuff like that.
Really? I haven't heard that one. That is crazy.
If you're able to pause the chain from the centralized ownership, then you don't have a real blockchain. I'm sorry. It's just not how it goes.
That actually would make a lot of sense with the quote unquote outages and downtimes. I mean, imagine if you could play shorts and then pause the chain. I mean, talk about printing money.
Right. How am I going to do that in Pulse Chain? I got to get a hold of all 51,000 validators. Now, that's not 51,000 validators, but there's 51,000 validator nodes. How many people are holding those nodes around the world? How do I get in touch with them so we can all collaborate and so we could try to stop the chain so we could put shorts in on Famous?
Right.
Let's go. How do we do this? I mean, I know a few validators out here in Puerto Rico. A few.
Right.
That's all what I got. It's it's crazy.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, Brizology. Yeah, he's talking about the clip that we were referencing that Kaiser had made. He said the guy's name is Maddie something. I made him famous. And then he says he was hearting every comment. Then I posted a comment, tweeted the video, and he hasn't put a single heart comment in the 60 plus new comments. Very, very nice.
Ratioed.
Oh, that's funny.
Good times.
Oh man.
What does he say about? I feel like Solana. What does he say about Solana? I just want to see what he.
Oh, sorry, I took it off.
Yeah, I feel like Solana is getting pumped by mainstreamers, and this is a chance. Yeah, I think so too, man. That's what Sami's always talking about. That a lot of the VCs got trapped in the last cycle, and so they're using the beginning of this cycle so they can get out, and they're using the the influencers for that. Yeah, I mean, good for them.
Yeah.
Hey, Motley, come on, bro. Come on, dude. We're gonna short it on Famous. I know you got some bags on Fame, so we'll make some money over there. I mean,
that's right. That's right. What's
Oh,
your take on this one, Corey? What do you think about Pulse X in the future?
I think it's going to have a run against Pulse because I just think that it will because it's the contrarian play. But long haul, man, I'm not putting my money on Pulse X for the long haul. I think it will do anywhere from a 3 to 10x above SAC price.
Yeah.
That's my guess on this market cycle. A 3 to 10x above SAC price. So I don't know where that's at from here. That's probably somewhere like probably like a 30x from here or something is what I'm guessing. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope it freaking does a 500x because then I know the other bags I have, like Pulse and Hex, will do just fine from that buy and burn and do just fine from the liquidity providing or bonding, the liquidity bonding that it has. And so we'll see. I do have a bag of Pulse X. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to not have a bag of it, but my bags are bigger in Pulse and in Hex. So that's my thoughts on it. I don't buy into the BS that it will do a 10,000x. I don't fall into the Westcott crypto line of thinking on this stuff. I just don't. Not in this market cycle. If you want to stick around for 2 or 3 market cycles, okay, maybe. Who knows? That's possible. It could do that if we're sticking around that long. But man, I want to make money this market cycle. I don't plan on sitting on my hands and letting this market correct, anywhere from 75 to 99%. And no, I'm not doing that, man. I'm taking money off the table this market cycle, and I'm going to be putting it into real estate. And so that's part of my vision, part of my goal. I have a business plan. And so part of my business plan is get some money made in this market cycle, create wealth via cryptocurrency, and then preserve that wealth in real estate. And, that the 10,000 next sitting on my hands for 10, 15 years is not part of my business plan for that strategy. You're muted, Dane.
Oh, thank you. So I changed the chart. So this is Pulse X in Pulse terms, and you can see. I mean, it appears like it's found at least a temporary bottom. It's kind of rounding out, and so there's a high in there. Where does that go? I don't know. I bought a little bit just to be able to kind of hedge my position, like you're saying, but it's not my most favorite thing to own.
It's not, man. I mean, and when Richard decentralized Pulse X, freaking Twitter went stupid. I'm like, guys, how many of you guys on here actually use the Pulse X DEX? And I guarantee, 8 out of 10 people don't. They're going to Pitius.io, or they go into Fox, or now Tetra.win. Tetra's got their DEX aggregator that they're spinning up. I mean, DEXs are a dime a dozen, man. And I mean, will it do fine? I believe it will, but it's just not. I'm not going to bet against that with the layer 1 glaring me in the face and with Hex still glaring me. My P-Hex and Pulse are still my 2 main bags. Yeah. Pulse mainly. I'm against I'm contrarian view. I think Pulse will do better in P-Hex. That's my opinion. I know that's we're in a lot of controversy in itself, but then I think P-Hex will do just fine too. So Pulse and P-Hex are my 2 favorite bags.
Yeah, I like it. I'm the same. Drew, yeah, a good take. No need to short Pulse chain after the RH SEC FUD is addressed. I wouldn't be surprised to see the $1 billion in the Pulse X SAC wallet move. That would be interesting. I think it's an interesting train of thought to think through this as a mental exercise. I think that, let's be honest, if the Richard Heart SEC case, if Gary Gensler doesn't get fired, which I think is relatively likely that he gets fired sometime next year or the following. But if that isn't redone, it looks like the House in the United States is working towards figuring out having more clarification around cryptocurrencies in the United States. So I'm excited for that. I think all that stuff's really bullish long term. But gosh, if this goes to a full-blown court case, that could take years to get addressed. So I don't anticipate Yeah, I don't anticipate the RH SEC stuff getting addressed in a way that I would feel like it was behind us for a pretty significant amount of time.
Yeah, not unless they dropped it because they couldn't serve him or something to that nature. I
But
mean,
even then, like, how likely is that, do you think? I don't think that's a lot of people on Twitter are talking like that's a huge possibility. Even
oh,
that,
I give it like 10%.
yeah, even that I think might be a little bit much that it just is
Yeah.
magically dropped. That'd be great. I'm hopeful for it. I just want to try to.
You want to have realistic expectations with your
Yeah.
bags. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
I agree. You know, if we get some surprises that are to the bullish side, then let them be surprises, but we need to have realistic expectations. Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is actually I've been seeing this. I saw a clip from Dollar Cost Crypto. In fact, this is another Kaiser clip. Seriously, Kaiser, like, keep those coming. We don't have time to watch everybody's streams, and I love getting the highlights from you. Like,
He gets the golden nuggets, man.
it's excellent. Seriously, like, one of my
Yeah.
favorite Twitter accounts. If you guys aren't following Kaiser, you're missing out.
Yeah.
But clipped a portion from Dollar Cost Crypto stream where he was talking about this exact thing that Paul's talking about, where Richard could launch PulseX over on Ethereum and start essentially stealing LP away, since it's the Uniswap guys have showed their hand. They are absolutely not DeFi. And for the people that want DeFi, you can go ahead and take some liquidity if you launched over there. Now, you need a V3 update, in my opinion, to really compete. But I think, I don't see why Richard couldn't do that if he wanted to.
Yeah, I would participate over there a little bit if he did that. I think that would be super bullish.
Yeah, that would be cool. I would love that.
Yeah, man, yeah, that would give a pulse. That would put PulseX back in the running.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, where does in fact, this is an interesting one. You and I haven't talked about this, Corey. I'm curious. Yeah, where does EHEX and PulseX sit
So
in here?
EHEX is going to start becoming my play to acquire more PHEX. And so, like, as the ratio gets further apart, if we get back in that ratio zone where it's like 3-to-1 or whatever it was, I have to pull the price chart up. The reason why I would accumulate EHEX is so that way when the opportunity arises, I can go ahead and gather more PHEX for my dollar. So I'm not staking more EHEX, if that's what you mean. I'm not accumulating the stake. I do have some EHEX stakes. I didn't EES my EHEX stakes when all the wars were going around, like PHEX versus EHEX, all this stuff. I sold EHEX at the fork, guys. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I sold some EHEX at the fork. I bridged that money over, and I bought PHEX with that money. But that was my liquid EHEX. Now, my staked EHEX, I'm going to keep it. Like, I have no reason to emergency and stake those, and that is my hedge. That if EHEX does really well, I have my stakes over there, and so I'm going to keep those. I have no intention of emergency and staking those. And then any accumulation of EHEX in the future would be only so I can get more PHEX.
Where would you rank EHEX and PulseX right now? Would you put one above the other? I think I'd kind of put them at the same.
They're kind of the same, yeah. Although I think if you were to tell me which one would do better in this market cycle,
I think I'd say EHEX.
Probably.
And in fact, Kaiser nailed it here. The buy and burn, buy and burn is crazy. Like, I think now it's not Titan X crazy, so maybe Jake could teach Richard a thing or two. Just kidding. But yeah, I mean, I think it makes PulseX a pretty interesting, like, second and third cycle token. Yeah,
that is interesting. Or 55% of circulating PulseX supply will be gone. Yeah. I mean, there is billions and billions of this stuff, and I'm not even talking about the OA. There's actually trillions. I mean, but what is it? Is it non-OA 15 trillion? No, it's 21 trillion. That's what it is. Non-OA is 21 trillion supply, circulating supply. That's it. Wow, so over half of that would be gone in 10 years. Okay, well, that's a problem, Kaiser. In 10 years, I want to have, a lot of this money that we're in this market cycle with into apartment buildings.
Yeah, I want to be sitting on an island in 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
But he's right, man. I mean, 10 years, will Pulse X do a 10,000X? If I had to put my money on it, I'd say probably in 10 years, you have a chance. You got a good chance of doing it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep. That's interesting. Oh, this is cool. I've been keeping tabs on here loosely.
Yep.
But 29,000 signatures on the Pulse petition. If you guys have not signed this, go and do it. It takes 2 seconds to go and put your
Please.
name on. I know everyone's nervous about doxing themselves and whatnot. But the XRP case, from the little bit of research, and I'm no expert there, but from the little bit of research, the amicus brief with all of the signatures played a reasonable role in the judge's mind in ruling the way that they did. And so if we can make a dent in that respect, like that's good for our bags.
Yeah, I've been shilling it on my Twitter.
And once again, like that's somebody, seriously, I think the community needs to do such a better job of supporting people when they're putting their own money to work, even if they're selling their bags. Like no one had to sell their bags or use their own money to be able to put some of this stuff together, to hire attorneys to do that. Like props to those guys. You don't have to like them. You don't have to like how they're doing stuff. But people are using their money to be able to go ahead and push good things forward for our bags, man. I'm for it. I think that's great.
It is great.
Yep, absolutely. Motley is the buzzkill this morning. He says that Richard won't launch PulseX on Ethereum. Come on, Motley. Give us the hopium, bro. We're here for the hopium this morning.
I know. That would be fun.
Yeah, even more amazing if the petition goes for another couple of months. Yeah, I mean, honestly, we've got more signatures than I anticipated we'd get total right now. So
I think XRP had 75,000. You guys know? Comment in the comments below if you know. But I think it's 75,000, and they have a massive community. They really do.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
Yeah, that would be if we can get close. If we can get to 50,000, holy crap, man! I think that would pull some really heavy weight.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's give so for some of the people, in fact, so if you haven't seen the documentary, Corey and I went and saw it. I would see it just to have seen it because it's part of the culture. It's what we
I'm gonna watch it again tonight.
Yeah. What were your biggest takeaways, Corey, and what would you have done differently?
I wasn't a huge fan of it myself.
Sure.
I have to be honest with you.
I
think they missed the mark on what they were trying to achieve out of the movie. In fact, I left the movie feeling like Richard Hart was more of a scammer than he was trying to help people and trying to do this, new innovative cryptocurrency called Hex and change the rules of the game. I felt more like, man, this just complete scam. And that's just how I felt. And that's also probably because I'm a Hetzican and probably because I know a lot about this stuff. And it's hard for me to see it from a no-coiner perspective because I'm not a no-coiner, right? And you need to have the no-coiners and what their thoughts. That's what really matters. And so, yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. What I've done differently, there was a particular character that the story was way too much about. I'm not going to mention names.
It was weighted heavily that direction.
It was weighted heavily in that direction. There was not enough story on the characters that I did like. I know you mentioned it earlier. I love Big K. Big K, I love his story.
I would like to see more of him, yeah.
I love who he is as a human being. I mean, I'm blessed to call him a friend now because I live down the street from him. It's really cool. But I would have loved to see more about him and his story and how it impacted his life and everything that went on there. I wish I would have saw more about Pulse Chain because when they made that movie, they knew what they were doing with Pulse Chain. They knew they were forking Ethereum. They knew, well, I don't know if they were forking Ethereum at that point, maybe not, but they knew that they were coming out with Pulse Chain. It was like a 5-second clip on Pulse Chain. They got to do a little bit more on the FOMO. On getting that built up. Yeah, man. But then once again, man, I'm a movie pleb, dude. What do I know? What do I know about what's going to bring any kind of eyeballs to our ecosystem through a movie? I don't know. I admit
but you do though, right? But you do in certain I wanted to see more FOMO. I wanted to see more. Man, I wish they would have taken a playbook out of the Eat the Rich documentary about
Yeah.
GameStop. I wish that they would have, like, the reason that series, and if you guys haven't seen it, go watch it. I thought it was a ton of fun to watch about the GameStop short squeeze. They did a really good job of involving multiple people from that community, and you got these different perspectives, and some of these guys that, like, that got wrecked playing the game, and some others that made a ton of money, and then you had some of these like kind of quirky set of guys that were talking about things that were kind of like these hipster type of guys that were engaging and funny to watch. And man, like by the end of it, even though I knew the game was over, like part of me wanted to go buy some GameStop, even though like, I didn't, because that's not the play. But still, like I felt the FOMO after, and I felt like I wanted to be part of this community. And so they based the documentary on the main character that pumped GameStop. He had these funny cat videos and these weird things he would do on his stream. And then they talked about the community that he built and why they were going about doing what they were doing. Whereas I felt like the highest of stakes, it felt kind of disjointed, where you had a little bit about Richard, which was good. And they were kind of like, is he a scammer? Is he not? And there wasn't like, I don't know, a lot of finality around that. And then you had a ton of stuff with RG3, which is fine, but it wasn't an RG3 documentary. And
are you sure?
I mean, watching that, it seemed like it was. And once again, no like shade towards RG3. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen more people to get a feel for. I think they could have done a really good job painting the community and showing, show some of the freaking, the weirdos, and show some of the crazy people, and show some of the others, and like give a balanced approach so that people can, in my opinion, see themselves in that story by aligning with a character, and then leave them with this feeling of like, I think it's fine. I don't think you need finality around saying, is Richard a scammer? Is he not? But I would have liked to have felt like in the end of the story, I could have related with one of the characters in the community and then said, I should dig into this more. I wonder what's really going on here. I would have liked to have seen that.
Yeah, it's funny you say you when you watched the GameStop movie, you wanted to go buy it even though the game was over. It was like the opposite. When I got done watching the highest of stakes, I wanted to sell my bag, even though I know the game wasn't over.
Sure. Sure. And the directors don't have a horse in the race is one of the things, right? They're just there to make or trying to make a compelling movie. And so like, it isn't their job to pump our bags, which is fine. I just wish that the movie would have been more compelling in general.
What's his name was one of the directors. Toby One was one of the directors.
Yeah, but the guys, with my understanding of how it went, is the main film guys, they were the ones that held pretty well all the decision making, since they had the expertise there. Do you understand something differently?
I mean, I don't. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, maybe these guys in the comments do. Either way, it was a success. It is a success. We're on streaming platforms now, or the timing's good now, and so we'll see what happens. I have positive vibes now for the movie and what it's going to do as far as the impact here in the future. I do. I have good expectations now. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yep, absolutely. But once again, like, shout out to those guys for being willing to put it together. Like, Corey and I are not professional movie critics. Yeah, no. Like Corey said.
Yeah, like, what do I know? Like, what's going to bring the eyeballs to the community and get people to FOMO? And it's hard for me to even judge because I'm not a no coiner and I am deep in this community, and so it's
different. Yeah, right. You guys are on a roll this morning. Props to you guys in the comments here. I like it. Yeah. 10 years I want to be waking up in the middle of the night. Yeah, checking Twitter for hopium. Yeah, we get it. We get it. I find that in fact, Corey, maybe this is a good way to kind of wrap up the show today. So I find that I need to take crypto in like waves. So there's times where I'm really engaged and I'm learning, and there's other times where I'm like, okay, like price is not where I'd like it to be. I need to just take a step back. I'm not going to pay attention to Twitter much today. I'm probably not going to look at the price charts, and I feel fine about that decision. How do you manage the ups and downs of
So the Twitter in itself, or X, whatever you want to call it, X.
It'll always be Twitter to us old people.
It's like the act. What is the musician formerly named as Prince?
Right.
Like, that's what it reminds me of. It's like, okay, you don't have a name anymore. You're just a symbol. You're with X. If I have to find myself, I have to take step backs from there where it can get toxic, and I can feel my I feel my attitude or my person, like I can feel it in me, like changing, or making me a little bit more depressed or a little bit more anxious or a little more. And that is from Twitter itself. Twitter, I feel like it runs at a very low frequency as far as like, I think it was Frank was talking about one of our masterminds groups on how, because it's very toxic. It's very toxic. And even when the price chart's doing well, I mean, even though you have all the Hexicans on there, they're cheering it on. You still have a lot of toxicity in there. It's just it's a playground. It's a cesspool playground. Yeah. It really is. But as far as like getting in crypto and doing research, going in Telegram groups, finding new protocols, learning about this, that, and the other, engaging with people who I enjoy, like I could do that all day long.
Yeah, that's fun.
I could do all day long. There's Frank. Yeah, Twitter calibrates at 180, which is pride. 190 is Facebook. 200 is integrity. And that's exactly how I feel if I spend too much time on Twitter. And we're addicted to it. I find myself like I grab my phone, I'm checking it without even thinking about it. I'm like, damn, why am I checking Twitter? Like, and then like I start to feel a little bad. Like, and it's you got to catch yourself on that because there is a lot of immaturity on Twitter. A lot of just, people being dumb. And I don't want to be in the rooms with people who are not trying to better themselves in life. And Twitter does not have a lot of that. There are some in there. Don't get me wrong. And some of you guys who are in this chat right here. In fact, a lot of you guys I think are in this chat. That's who the tribe I hope we attract. As people who always try to better themselves in lives. For me, it's the 4 pillars of spiritual, mental, physical, and financial. Financial is my last pillar. But if you get these other 3 right, then the 4th one should follow suit. Twitter doesn't have any of that stuff on it. It's like, yeah, I'm forcing myself. You have to force yourself. This is how you quit any addiction. And I know about quitting addictions. I promise you, I've quit many things in my life that I've been addicted to. And Twitter is one of those things now where I'm having to force myself out of it and down once in a while. And then maybe go on YouTube and watch. If I want to do some crypto stuff, I'll go on YouTube and I'll watch Sami. I'll go into the Telegram and I'll start reading, like maybe I'll go into Tetra. And I'm not going to find Tetra FUD in Tetra, right? I'm going to go in Tetra. I'm going to start reading about everything that they're building and what they're doing. That stuff excites me. Yeah. And if we were to calibrate that, YouTube learning, going into Telegram communities and learning, engaging with community members who are positive, that probably calibrates well above 200. And so, yeah, it's the actual Twitter cesspool that makes us feel that way. That makes us that's bad for us. So yeah.
There's a book that what's it called? Oh, it's literally so it's called Everything is Figure Outable by Marie probably gonna say this wrong, Forleo is what I'm gonna guess. I haven't read it, but I listened to her on a podcast, and it was interesting. And one of the things that stuck with me is she kind of talked about, I'm a big believer in like luck and runs, and I love things like that. And when you're on a hot streak, like let good money run type of stuff. And I feel like life is that way. I tend to be, in fact, I was thinking about this this weekend. I love to play games. Our family, we do it like board games, strategy games. I freaking love that type of stuff. And I tend to win. Like I win a lot. And frankly, I attribute a lot of that to now you guys can make fun of me all you want in the comments, but I attribute a lot of that just because like I generally see myself as a lucky person and I anticipate getting good runs and I manifest that stuff. And so I get them and I get them. And so I was thinking about back to the book Everything is Figure Outable. She talks about how when you feel good as a person, that that your brain fires in a different way, in a different frequency, and you tend to be able to attract more good things to you. And so one of the practices that I've used specifically for Twitter or X is, like I get varying perspectives, but there's so much negativity. So I've muted pretty well anybody that talks for long periods of time about negativity. I could give you a list of people. And my experience now is really quite pleasant, where I just don't want to see a lot of that stuff.
I need to do that. I need to go through there a little bit more, make a better effort on muting the stuff that I don't want to see, or muting the people who are just in there causing chaos and toxicity. And we got a lot of them. And we even have some like Hexicans, Maxis that do it, and they're horrible. It's we have the haters that do it, and then we have people in community doing it. It's like, oh my God. Like it's just, it is brutal,
and it's a life lesson. Like for instance, my prayers go out to all the people out in Palestine and going on with these different wars. It's terrible. I'm not an advocate for any of that. I'm also not able to make an impact on those things, and seeing all that shit on social media is only negativity for me. So you can go into X, you can mute keywords, so nothing shows up with those specific words. I did it for Budweiser when all the Bud Light stuff was going on. I've done it for the war. Like, I just don't want to see that stuff. It doesn't fill me up. It doesn't make me feel good. It doesn't make it so my runs last longer and are stronger. And I can be a better voice and use for good in the world if I feel good about things. And so, I think it's really important to protect your space.
I think it's very important.
Make it so your environment is positive.
I've been doing the keyword strategy. You told me about that the last time. I can't remember what the last trip we're on. You told me about that. I was like, I didn't even know you could do that. You could mute out certain keywords that you didn't want to see. And I've been doing that. And it works very effectively. I still have a lot more cleaning up to do and a lot more to go through. But yeah, law of attraction. I'm a big believer of law of attraction. I believe in the way we feel and the way we think, we attract in our life. We become that person, and the stuff around us gets attracted to us. We create the lives that we want. We really do. And this is why we're here, guys. This is why we're here with you. We feel like this is the place. It is the opportunity. There's no two ways about it. The opportunity of a lifetime is here right now with you guys. And we're going to be able to just, create some freaking legacy wealth in this ecosystem. And so, but we don't have to feel like dog crap.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, what I'll do, man, I've been doing lately is like every time I notice myself, I'll grab my phone and go to Twitter. I will force myself to put it down and I go play with my daughter.
Oh, I like it.
Immediately it's a shift in my thinking too. Like I'm not, you know what I mean? It's like the whole crypto thought is out of my head when I'm playing with her, right? It's yeah. So yeah.
You gotta find a balance. Yeah, absolutely.
You do gotta find a balance. Yep, you do gotta find a balance. Yes.
Yeah.
I muted Zen.
Yeah, you find your own pace, you figure out what you like. I did mute the flat earthers because I was getting all this stuff about the earth being flat.
We got a lot of them in our community, bro.
Yeah, and it's fine if you feel that way, like I don't care. It just doesn't benefit me. I don't care to see more.
Right. Did you mute Eric Wall?
Oh yeah, fuck that guy. Yeah, no. There's only negativity there. Seriously, like show me some value that he's provided. Period. Like, I don't care if it's about
Yeah,
anything, and it's just all negativity. No,
I
don't
agree.
know.
He's a very intellectual person, but he applies that intellect towards evil. And it's
Yeah,
all he does. It's like, man, if you would apply it towards good, like he is so toxic in a smart way. It's like, the graph. They always show, what's it called? There's a name for it, where it goes. It's like a big old hill, and then you have the dumb guy with the flat head on one
yeah.
side. You have the
It's
smart
the
guy
bell
with the
curve.
glass and the bell curve. And then
Mhm.
like the guy on top is the one that doesn't get like crypto, or maybe it's hex or whatever, the majority. Then you got either the real dumb idiot or the really, really smart guy. They get it.
Right.
Eric Hall reminds me of the guy on top.
Well, it's really interesting, Corey. I spent a lot of time when I was doing ministry work for my church. I went and did that for a couple of years.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time among some incredibly poor people that had nothing. I'm telling you, we went to this one house, had a giant gaping hole in the roof, like probably 5 feet in diameter. And the house looked like it was falling over. This is in the United States. This isn't like some third world country. I thought that the house was abandoned. There's a family living in there. It was wild. And I met a lot of people in similar situations. And I'm telling you, it was remarkable how happy many of them were. They're just freaking happy as could be and had nothing, had lives of destitution as far as finances were concerned. And met a lot of really freaking smart people. And it's incredible how many smart people are sad and depressed and don't give room in their life for hope and for luck and for God and things
love.
like that.
Yeah.
And I think it's important. Yeah, you just. I'll give you one more story. I have someone near and dear in my life that has done everything right, if you will, in their life in respect to getting a great education. Went to 2 Ivy League schools, got 2 degrees from 2 Ivy League schools. Has worked all over the world in different countries, but can't keep a job for more than 2 or 3 years. He just can't. And at this point, there's a pattern. And sure enough, his more recent job, he is done December 9th, I think is when it is. And they're not going to renew his contract. And love him to death. But man, he's given up. He told his wife, he's like, I guess we're going to have to sell the house again and move on. And they've done that over and over and over. And this was supposed to be the last stop. And when it comes to games of life, when it comes to games of money and finance and spirituality and whatever it is that you may have interest in, there's a way to win. And you need to find ways to be able to train yourself to learn to win those games. And oftentimes it's not about being the smartest. It's just about learning to win, surrounding yourself with the right people, and be able to maintain mental space and clarity where you can have peace and happiness amidst winning the games of life that matter to you. And it can all be done.
I agree with 100%. We'll leave it here too. One of the books that taught me that strategy, the strategy of life, how to change my life, how to change my thinking, how to change who I am as a person, is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. One of the best books I've ever read. I would recommend all you guys in the chat to read that book. It can really change your life, change not just your finances, but your love life, change your relationships with God, change your relationships with your kids, change your relationships with friends, change your relationships with money. You got to change your relationship with money if you want money to come to you and stay to you. So it's, Dr. Joe Dispenza, absolutely amazing individual. And he's been he was an absolute catalyst in my entrepreneur journey, early in my entrepreneur journey. I give him a lot of the credit. Well, God's got all the credit, but Dr. Joe Dispenza just helped facilitate some of that. So
yeah. Absolutely. Cool. We've got some new guys here in the comments. Seriously, we appreciate you guys being here. I mean, you make the show a freaking ton of fun. We appreciate all the comments. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like all that type of stuff for the algorithm. We want to spread the good word of crypto, put out the good vibes for everybody, and make this the coolest bull run that any of us have ever experienced. So
it's gonna be a fun one, bro.
It's gonna be fun. Cool, guys. Have a great day.
See ya.
See ya.